Well, I'm back here talking again about American domestic politics. It's looking like it's looking even worse for the GOP. I'm about to show you a video about a story about a recent election. Another Republican stronghold went to the Democrats. So obviously, the Republicans know what's coming this election. It's not looking good for them. But again, they've only done this themselves. They went on and on and on about inflation and affordability, and now they're in office, and guess what's happening? We have the same issue, inflation and affordability, and it's only gotten worse since they've gotten charged. Now, I could argue what they could have done to make the fate different for them, but they didn't want to do that. So the Republican Party don't care about helping working class people. They use people's disenchantment of government to win elections. Okay? But once they get what they want, history repeats itself, and it speaks for itself. They blow up the deficit. They go to war. They spend more money on wars, tax breaks for billionaires, but nothing for you. And everybody thinks they're going to get a tax break and get more money in their pocket until they realize they're not going to. So people are going to wake up, and they're starting to wake up right now. They're not happy with the results they're getting with the Republican Party in control. So I'm going to show you a video about another special election that went to the Democrats.
We had another Democrat that pulled off an unlikely victory, and this one was in Margaritaville. So, Democrats did it again. Oops, they did it again. Anyway, so this went down last Friday, or I think it was at least reported last Friday, but the Democratic candidate, Andy Thompson, he won the mayoral race for Boca Raton, Florida. This is significant for several reasons. So initially, let me just share this with you first. Initially, he had won by a 1-vote margin. One single vote put him over the top. They did 2 recounts, and then when they did that second recount, they were like, okay, he obviously won. We're just going to go with this. But they settled on a 5-vote margin. So 5 people. If just 6 people had stayed home, he would have lost. So this is just very crucial that Democrats get out and vote. This is the first Democratic mayor for Boca Raton, Florida in over 30 years. So this is the second time that Democrats have flipped a mayor's seat in the state of Florida in just the past few months. Again, this is Margaritaville. This is Trump country. Okay, I know there are a lot of Democrats there, but they've gerrymandered things so bad that Republicans end up usually winning everything. Obviously, the gerrymandering isn't really going to help when it comes to a mayoral race. But anyway, but still, it had been trending red. So the other person I'm referring to, just for anybody who didn't catch it, that was Eileen Higgins. So she had become the first Democratic mayor for the city of Miami in almost 30 years. So it's undeniable at this point. The Democrats are fired up. Republican voters are disillusioned, they're unmotivated, they're just not coming out to vote. Either that or they've just checked out. Like, they're getting everything that they want, so they're like, oh, whatever, elections, yeah, who knows, I'll vote again for the next president. So, I don't know, but either way, I tend to think that it's disaffected, disillusioned Republican voters, and they're just staying home because they're just not happy. So this is bound to get worse as this Iran war drags on, as more American lives are lost, because I keep hearing in focus groups, and this is, Trump 2024 voters. They're, not all of them, but there are some who are like, I'm not happy about this. This isn't what he promised, but they're willing to give him grace if the war ends soon. That is what I keep hearing. They keep saying, as long as it's over quickly, like as they were thinking, or they're still thinking that it's going to be like what we saw in Venezuela, or like the bombing that we saw in Iran back in June of last year. So they're still in this mindset of, oh yeah, we're a superpower. We're going to go in. We're going to get it over with and done, and we'll be done, and no more lives lost, whatever. And I just listened to one the other day that I'm going to share with you guys in the next couple days. But a lot of these people are thinking that this is just going to be a simple task and that's it. And okay, I can forgive Trump for that. As long as we win and it's over quickly, I can forgive him. Unfortunately, it's unlikely that that's going to happen anytime soon. And then some of them too are saying my red line is boots on the ground. That appears to be inevitable at this point because it's already in the works, as I shared with you guys last week. So this is going to get worse. This is absolutely going to get worse for Republicans. And I think they know it, and I think that they're secretly probably furious with Donald Trump. But, again, dumb as a rock in a hard place. That's what they're stuck. So, all right, guys, I'll let you know if I hear any more. Thank you so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and...
So, it's not surprising. I'm really not surprised. I mean, Florida is not as red of a state as the media paints it out to be. It's just the Democratic Party has failed sorely at investing in ground game in Florida. Okay. The Republicans outran them with organizing in Florida for so long. So yes, Boca Raton is, by its nature, a Republican-leaning area. It's where a lot of wealthy, affluent white voters live. The joke is they call it parts of Margaritaville, Trump country. But, and apparently it still obviously is because the Democrat that won by like a narrow 5 votes. So it was still super close. The Democrat won it, but they didn't win it by much. So it's obviously a solid conservative area because I've witnessed a lot of other special elections that happen around the country in very conservative strongholds. And the Democrats usually won by more than that even. So there's another story about a seat that flipped in Arkansas recently. I don't think I covered that one, but that was another flip for the Democrats. Arkansas. Very conservative part of Arkansas, too. So it's not looking good for the Republicans. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of it is there's a lot of people that voted for MAGA that actually think just voting for Trump was enough for them. And they're just staying home and they're not voting. They're not politically engaged other than Trump. Then you got other people out there, I think, that really are disaffected and demoralized. Because I don't think people, again, signed up for forever wars. And that's what we're experiencing right now. And paying more at the gas pump. And paying more for utility bills. And paying more for everything. They're not doing nothing about inflation. This is still going to be the number one issue on people's minds. Now, a lot of us care about other things too. But I'm talking about the whole country as a whole. Just run-of-the-mill people, everyday people that don't tune into the news every day. Inflation's still going to be the number one thing on their mind. And they're going to take it out on whoever's in charge. And if they feel that person's making the situation worse and not better, they will take it out on their party. That's obvious. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to share with this video. Anyways, y'all have a great night, great day. Love you all. Goodbye.